We enlighten lives. We empower progress. We are global business power.
Welcome to the Daily Current Documentaries, where the longest story is digital. Welcome to Caffeinated, Daily Garden's podcast series in partnership with Uber Shared Space and Cafe.
Oh, here we go again, yeah. Oh, here we go again. Let's do it one more time, yeah. Oh, here we go again. Oh, 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 All I know is that the grease gets better when the skillet's hot, the dish sticks together. You say the cooking's done, but it never ends. Oh, here we go again, yeah. Oh, here we go again. Let's do it one more time, yeah. Oh, here we go again. Here we go. Oh, here we go again, yeah. Oh, here we go again. Let's do it one more time, yeah. Oh, here we go again.
Global Business Power has become the leading power producer in the Visayas, with the flexibility to supply base, intermediate, peak load, and ancillary support responding to the growing energy needs of a dynamic nation connecting businesses and communities. We provide programs addressing health, education, environment, and the social development needs of the communities around us. Our vision is to be the leading and most efficient energy provider in the country. What happens when we generate power? We enlighten lives. We empower progress. We are global business power.
Oh, here we go again, yeah. Oh, here we go again. Let's do it one more time, yeah. Oh, here we go again. Oh, 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 All I know is that the grease gets better when the skillet's hot, the dish sticks together. You say the cooking's done, but it never ends. Oh, here we go again, yeah.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Rowena.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm just checking if my if the computer is working properly. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. I can hear you. Okay, good day, everyone. Welcome to the Iloilo Business Online. Today's episode will focus on reshaping the utilities industry in Iloilo City, and we will get a chance to take part in a very, very valuable conversation with key leaders in utilities industry about issues confronting them amid global pandemic. As business organizations go through very, very tough times today, the utility sector creates strategies towards fast economic recovery. And Iloilo Business Online features local utility providers on water, power, and telecommunications to give updates on challenges encountered, new products or projects, and coping mechanisms. And they will also provide views on what the future looks like for the local consumers. So join the conversation as we discuss new updates on our new players that are ready to meet the demands for a resilient utility company. Today's episode will run for only 1 hour, hosted via Zoom and stream live over the Daily Guardian's Facebook page. So let's begin with the words of welcome from Mr. Juan Jose Zamora III, Chairman of the Iloilo Business Club.
Sound. News and issues in the country amid the pandemic. We are honored to have our panel from Iloilo utility sector to give us updates on their current projects, the challenges, and coping mechanisms amid the pandemic, the innovations they are implementing to provide unhampered service delivery in view on what the future looks like for the local customers. With the operational demand of local business to meet online transactions and communications, we take a look at these three companies as we discover new information on how they are transitioning to becoming a resilient utility provider during this pandemic. We wish to welcome back and thank Mrs. Rowena Diaz of Soft Skills Management Consulting for moderating our session this afternoon. Special thanks to our partner, the Daily Guardian, to make all our IBO sessions available to all of you through their Facebook page. Lastly, we thank Global Business Power and SEDA Atria for supporting Iloilo Business Online. Thank you very much. Let us all keep practicing our health protocols. Good afternoon again. Stay safe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zamora. Thank you for building a leadership of legacy that positively balances people, business profit, and community as well. So this time, allow me to introduce to you our first guest speaker, a very hardworking executive who puts premium on teamwork, identifying it as a core component of the Power Firm's corporate culture. Our first speaker for today's episode is fondly called as Roel, the president and CEO of More Electric and Power Corporation. He established the company 3 years ago with the end goal of operating the electric distribution. Roel has been in the power and electricity business for over 15 years now, and it seems that he is always given the task of starting companies and bringing it to operations from ground up. and he was part of the management team of the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines that took over the operations from Transco in the government's privatization program. As part of the management team, he co-headed the transition activities of the new company. He was also instrumental in the grant of franchise from the Congress. After his stint in NGCP, he started another company and thus time in the power generation side of the power industry. He started again from ground zero, the PAM Concepcion Power Corporation, a 135 megawatt clean coal power plant in Concepcion, Iloilo. He combined the state-of-the-art steam, turbine, and generator from Europe with the balance of plant from China and the critical, or say the control system from the US to be one of the most fuel efficient plant of its class in the Philippines. Outside of the power industry, Roel was the country marketing head of Syngenta Philippines and Novartis company that was into a crop solution for plantation, as well as the retail market. For over a year, he did a consulting job in Hong Kong. And for his early years after college, Roel taught quantitative business analysis in the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, and then credit supervisory work at Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. For his academic preparation, Roel finished Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Business from UPLB in 1987. After 10 years, he completed his master's in management from the Asian Institute of Management and completed his advanced executive management program from LESE School of Management, University of Navarre in Spain, in partnership with the University of Asia and the Pacific. Roel has received several recognition, among which is the most outstanding alumnus of UPLB. He was also featured twice by the Asian CEO magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker, Mr. Roel Castro, President CEO of More Power Electric or More Electric and Power Corporation.
Good afternoon, Weng. Good afternoon to the officers and members of Iloilo Business Club. Mayang hapon. Well, can I share my screen? Can everyone see it? Hello, can everyone see the slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Again, good afternoon. Well, I know that this is a 1-hour presentation from 3 companies, so I'll try to make it fast, but it's so difficult to compress everything within 15 minutes, no? But anyway, I'll try my best to do as fast as I can. Well, at this point, I'd also like to recognize and greet our independent director, Tony Hon, who I've seen in the among the participants. Good afternoon, Director Tony. Okay, so well, the title is Reshaping Through Modernization and Innovation. Well, I'll be talk. Well, I divided my talk into 5. One is capacity building, improved systems reliability, improved systems efficiency, improved customer service, and competitive supply rate. But before I go to the first topic, let me show you this short video. Is there sound? Ba't walang sound?
No sound.
There's no sound.
There's no sound.
Wala pa rin. Wala pa rin.
Sorry for that. Well, anyway, I mean, if there's no sound, let me just go to the presentation again. Okay, so let me talk about the capacity building. Capacity building is really increasing the capacity of the substations within the city. As of now, I would say 2020, 2021, we are actually operating the substations, the aggregate, at about 84%, wherein the safe level is 70%. This is brought about by maximum demand, which is about 128, and a low demand of 108. Just to show you the performance of the substations. No? Again, the blue line shows the safe level. It's only actually La Paz substation that is operating within or below the safe level. All the rest are already operating beyond the safe level. In the like for instance, Haro, this is already 100%. Molo, Mandurriao already in the 90s, no, and city proper at 85%. So, with the growing demand of the city, and we have made, in last December, we actually augmented the capacity by 10 megawatts or 10 MVA with the commissioning of the mobile substation, which is now stationed in Mandurriao or in Mega World area. This addition of 10 MVA brought down our Mandurriao substation loading from 93% down to 72%. No? So given the situation now, we actually have 2 substations that are more or less within the safe level. Now, per our projection in 2025, okay, we're looking at forecasted load demand of about 158 megawatts. Capacity, about 252 megawatts. And if we don't do any addition to any of the substations now, we will be overloaded over and above rated capacity. So the only way that we could address this is to actually add substations, no, to bring down the to have enough capacity within the safe level. And we are looking at Mega World 40 MVA, city proper increasing it from 20 to 40 MVA, and perhaps a new substation in Arevalo, no, which is the load end of our mono substation of another 20 MVA. If we will be able to do this in 2022 and 2023, we should be ready for the increasing demand all the way to 2025, and we would be within the safe level of about 62%. On the improved systems reliability, now we are installing, and we have installed 18 auto circuit reclosers, or ACRs, wherein if there are momentary or instantaneous line faults, the ACR would automatically attempt to bring back the power in 2 attempts. I think some of our consumers have experienced this, especially in the Mandurriao area, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Actually, at that time, we tried to have 4 attempts, but there were consumers who actually complained, na parang Christmas lights. So we actually limited it from 4 attempts to 2 attempts, wherein power should be brought back automatically. Now, we with the auto reclosers, no, we are able to actually sectionalize the feeders, wherein if in the past, no, before the ACRs were installed, if there would be a line fault, let's say in Mandurriao feeder 2, it would be the whole of the feeder 2 that would get affected. But now with ACRs, there are two ACRs within the feeder. So it will only affect the area or the portion or the section before the ACR where the fault happened. So it's no longer a full feeder outage, no, but it will already be sectionalized outages. No? So now there are about 18 units that we have installed, and there will be more units in the coming months. No? And we hope to complete all of these installations by this year. Now, the other feature of I would say a standard or a good system, no, is a loop network system. What's happening now is that our feeders, no, are mostly in what we call radial. No? When we say radial, there is no interconnection. There is no interaction, no, between two feeders. All feeders are independent, no, of each other. So if there is a feeder that if there is a feeder outage, there is no other feeder that could help, no, bring back power because it is independent. So in a loop system, we actually interconnect the sections as well as the full feeder. So there would be power coming from the other side or from other areas to augment or to power up areas that are affected. So this illustration, well, if you may know, let's say from the NGCP Santa Barbara Baldosa line, assuming that there is a fault that happens, it opens. So therefore, the La Paz substation now opens, and all of the substation, all of the feeders under La Paz will be on outage. Now, in a loop system, Mandurriao should be able to share its power, no, even if the main line is down. So in a loop system, Mandurriao will be able to bring in power coming from its feeder, feeding, no, into the feeders of La Paz substation. Then therefore, La Paz substation or La Paz feeders will be energized even if there is a fault still at the main. Now, so this is a system that we will be implementing for the whole of the franchise area. That way, all feeders, all sections, no, will have an interconnection with feeders that are live. The other system other feature, no, of a modernized system is a SCADA system. We are starting with the tendering actually for the for consultants, no, for the SCADA system for the city. But our plan is that all of the feeders or all of the main feeders, no, will now be interconnected in terms of communications as well. No, so it is not only the electric lines, but as well as the communications. No? So what will happen is that under a SCADA system, wherein your substations, your automatic circuit reclosers, your sectionalizing cutouts, as well as your load break switches, no, are all SCADA ready. No? So it makes them able to communicate with each other through the communication system or through the SCADA system. Now, assuming that this is the power flow, no, as seen by the yellow arrows, if a fault happens, let's say in this line, no, which is shown by a blackout, no, what will happen is that information will be sent to the control center, instantaneous. No, so communications or message would enter the control center saying that there was a fault that occurred in this area. That SCADA system will now communicate with the available facilities and send message, no, to automatically bring back the power. No? So the SCADA system will be able to do that, leaving the area where the fault occurred, no, as the only section wherein the outage would happen. And this is done actually split of a second. No, I mean that couldn't be felt, and that shouldn't be felt by the consumers, because under a SCADA system, under a optimized and efficient SCADA system, the communication, well, I would say, I mean, there should be free flow of communication. Therefore, the sending of data will be in split of seconds. So that way, the SCADA system will be able to bring back power. Well, if it is instantaneous, then it will be instant ang restoration. But if it is a if the line fault is because of a cut wire, or I mean there's a coconut front that actually is hanging, no, then that would be that section will be will be isolated. Okay. Now all these steps are done automatically through the system, and again, approximately within a minute, no, it should be able to bring back power. No. Now the other benefit, no, of a smart or of the SCADA system is we will be able to overlay the smart metering system. No, so from the control center, you have the meters. Well, we are studying the economics of this, no, because these meters are not priced as well, just like any ordinary meter. No, I mean it's quite expensive. So we are studying the economics of this right now. But what will happen is that under a SCADA system, the meters and the control center are actually communicating with each other depending on what you set, no? How many seconds or how many minutes. But the communication would always be there. Iloilo has an advantage because Iloilo is somehow flat, no? So the line of communication is relatively easy. So assuming that it's already the end of cycle, which is the start of the reading at 12 midnight of a certain cut-off date, that reading is also on the same time is also done by the meters. No, so while it is done in the meters, at the same time, it already sends the data back to the control center, and it could already generate bills. So this way, again, I mean, you don't need to send readers, you don't need to send meter readers to take down photos, take the data, come back to the office and code it, no, and then generate bills. So this one, instantaneous, it could generate bill at a certain cutoff. No, so that is well, we hope to finish the study of this, no, and see up to what level could the smart metering system could be applied. Okay, the next is the improved system efficiency. So here, basically, it's the reduction of systems loss. Well, these pictures again would show you, I don't know how many times have I shown this, but if you've seen this, it is just because I am emphasizing, no, how the situation in Iloilo, no, how bad the pilferage is. So we have apprehended over 1,000. If I'm not mistaken, this number was even about 2 months ago, or well, at least a month ago, apprehended. Which is expected recoveries here is about million kilowatt hours at 10 pesos, that's about 40 million pesos of energy that was pilfered by this 1,107. No? Well, part of the system, no, is that we will make it, well, I hope, no, make it a bit difficult for them to tap and just stick the whatever wires they have, no, by doing elevated metering. Don't worry about the problem of how is it read. No, I mean, we are able to read elevated metering clusters, no, by either using drone or meter readers on bucket trucks, no. And if later on this will be under a SCADA system, then there is even no need to do physical reading of the meters. Well, since March 2020, last year, just right after we took over, there were a total of about 21 new applications already. No? And about 90% of these are connected as of today. No? Well, we do barangay load assessment project assessment as well, no? In all barangay facilities. Apparently, there are about 567 barangay facilities, and yes, well, apparently, again, I mean, not all are with meters, no. So we're doing some efforts on recoveries on this aspect as well. The expected monthly recovery here is about 222,000 kilowatt hours, or at 10 pesos, that's about 2.2 million pesos for the barangay facilities. Now, we're also doing some efforts, well, part of our CSR, no, and coordination with the city government as well as other telco and cable companies. And this is what we call the Public Utilities Group of Iloilo. No? So I don't know if the acronym is appropriate, no, called PUGI, but that is what it means, Public Utilities Group of Iloilo. For now, these are, well, you have the logos or the companies that are actually helping each other, no, and part of this PUGI. And well, I'm not sure if Randy Pastolero is in, but it's Randy who is the city's representative, no, in guiding us and telling us what are the things to be done on certain streets or certain areas. And we do this almost 6 days a week, and we cooperate, no, among the companies. So if you see Muelyaloni before, no, and the after, no, so we removed the hazardous post there. We also cleaned Plaza Libertad. In the past, the poles and wires were actually on the plaza side, no. So what we did was to transfer it to the other side. We rebundled, we cleaned, we removed dead wires. No, so now around the plaza itself, it's already clear. This one is not now. No, I mean, we've cleaned the wires, rebundled, and really removed thousands of or hundreds of kilometers of dead and abandoned wires. No, so the same. This is not. We did pole replacement along Bonifacio Drive, so we're trying to rationalize now. If there are 3-4 posts, we again in the past kanya-kanyang poste. No, but now we agreed that if we can actually use less post and just enter into agreement, no, on compensation. So this way, the city would be cleaner. Now, on the competitive supply rates, we've put up the Banuyao switching station, which made the franchise area 100% connected to the grid. No, well, just to show you the rates, no. This is from January 19 to February 2020 of the previous DU, wherein the average was about 11.49 pesos per kilowatt hour. This is based on ERC data. No? Now, since we came in from March to May of this year, our average is about 10.12 pesos per kilowatt hour. So there is a decrease or a reduction of average of about 1 peso 29 centavos per kilowatt hour. Okay, so these are the items that I took up, and it's reshaping through modernization. However, reshaping through modernization and innovation brings more economic relief to to the consumers, efficiency in local business operations, improve government public services, business investors in Iloilo City, an increase in it, and employment opportunities for Ilonggo. So the rehabilitation and modernization are being implemented side by side. And modernization will keep on going, for there is still more in store for Iloilo City. Thank you very much and good afternoon. Walang audio?
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Mr. Roel Castro, President and CEO of More Electric and Power Corporation. Not too many people actually, sir, have valuable skills and capacity to run a company like More Power, especially under your leadership. It is a weighty responsibility. We acknowledge that. Balancing clients' needs and possibilities while forging new ways for growth. Thank you very much, sir. And I would like to special mention your team, because I know under you, they are also working so hard. To Miss Cecilia Pecalunod, Mr. Neil Parcon, Mr. Yomel Tambanilio, Ms. Karen Fedelino, Mr. Ed Montemayor, and Attorney Aliana Babayanon. All these people at the back of the company's office, they are working so hard to deliver what they have promised. Thank you so much, Mr. Castro. So
Thank you.
questions will be accommodated after the third speaker. So this time, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to you a notable person who dedicated himself in improving the lives of the people within its concession. Our next speaker is the Chief Operating Officer of Metro Pacific Iloilo Water Incorporated. Ben, his preferred name, has been in the water utility industry for 22 years. After obtaining his Bachelor of Civil Engineering degree from the University of the Philippines, Diliman in 1998, and landing 7th place in the Civil Engineering Licensure Examination in 1999, Ben joined Manila Water Company as a cadet engineer and was fortunate to have received strong technical and managerial trainings from great people, which he considers his mentors and coaches. Ben's career at Manila Water took off there, and then he was eventually assigned to various key roles in the organization, including General Manager and Chief Operating Officer of Boracay Water Company, and then Operation headed Obando Water Company and Bulacan Development Company, and a secondment in Vietnam. Okay, a secondment as Chief Technical Officer in a water company in Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam. So Ben and his family moved to New Zealand in 2019, but his passion in water industry here in the Philippines prompted him to come back to the country and accept the role as Chief Operating Officer of Metro Pacific Iloilo Water in January 2020. Our second speaker, please welcome Engineer Bernardo Mañosca.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that kind introduction. Let me just share my screen. Is the presentation already showing in the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much to the Iloilo Business Club. Thank you for inviting us and giving us the opportunity to share what our company, Metro Pacific Iloilo Water, has been doing since our start of our commencement as a company in 2019. Okay. So, so I'll just This is the flow of the presentation. Okay. So let me start with the introduction of our company. Metro Pacific Iloilo Water is part of the Metro Pacific Investment Group of Company headed by our chairman, Manny Pangilinan. Metro Pacific Investment has a very wide portfolio, including power, transportation, hospital, rails, and of course including water. Under the water division, it has it also covers a number of water companies. Here in the Philippines, it includes Metro Pacific Iloilo Water, other companies in Dumaguete, in Cebu, and in Cagayan de Oro. So Metro Pacific Iloilo Water is a joint venture between Metro Iloilo Water District and Metro Pacific Water. And we just started our commercial operations in July 2019. So we just celebrated our second year anniversary this month. It is a 25-year concession to improve, rehabilitate, maintain, and obtain the water distribution system of our service area and provide septage services to our customers also. Okay. Just to give a snapshot of what Metro Pacific Iloilo compared with other water utilities in Iloilo. Okay, Metro Pacific Iloilo is a water distribution company. So what we say distribution company, we distribute the bulk water to the customers, and this bulk water actually comes from Metro Iloilo Water District and from its bulk water companies, which include Metro Iloilo Bulk Water, Flow Water, and Prime Water. So itong tatlong companies on the left are the bulk water suppliers that source and treats bulk water, sells it to Water District and eventually sells it to Metro Pacific Iloilo Water, which we use to distribute to our customers. Okay. So the service area of Metro Pacific Iloilo Water consists of Iloilo City and the 7 municipalities of Maasin, Cabanatuan, San Miguel, Santa Barbara, Oton, Pavilla, and Leganes. And the eight areas has a population of almost 1 million. Covering around more than 400 barangays. Okay. So let me proceed with the what has been happening for the past 2 years. So for 2020, end of 2020, we ended at 43,000 connections. Okay, and this is almost 3% increase compared to December of 2019. Okay. And we added, the service connections that are added is a result of the numerous projects that we are doing to recover losses so that we can distribute to our customers. Okay. In terms of customer service, we divided the area into business areas so that into 3 business areas, so that we will have a more personalized customer management. Okay, so we have assigned managers for each of the business area so that we can monitor complaints resolutions that we receive through call centers, walk-in, and social media. Because as we start the company, of course, we have a lot of things to do. We have a lot of things to fix, and one of those major item is for us to be able to accept customer complaints and, more importantly, resolve them so that our customers would be satisfied. Okay. As part of our improved customer service, we have transferred our office here in Festive Walk Mall Annex so that we will be able to better serve our customers. We have established our 24/7 hotline numbers so that people can reach us even if they cannot go physically into our office. And of course, we have our Facebook page that customers can visit. We also added a number of collecting agents so that payment options for our customers will be much more convenient. We also introduced bank-to-bank and cashless payments for for payment for their monthly water bills. Okay, let me proceed with the as what our counterpart from More Power also mentioned. One of our biggest challenges is also the non-revenue water. These are the losses, water losses in the system, and we need to recover this non-revenue water so that we will be able to add this recovered water as supply in our expansion areas to our new customers. As I have mentioned, we are only our company is on the distribution side, so we are not responsible in adding more bulk water supply and treating them so that we can sell to the customer. So we do not have that we do not have that mandate. But what we can do is we should be reducing the non-revenue water so that we can add more water to our customers. And one of the major projects that we are doing right now is the meter standardization program. Okay, just like More Power. Okay, as what Roel mentioned, they are they are elevating and grouping the water the electric meters. We are also doing this. Okay, these are, I think, the best practices of a number of water utilities in the Philippines, and we are adopting this, and we are seeing very significant benefit. Okay, in terms of improved customer service, water supply to our customers, and addressing non-revenue water. So this, I think, this is one way. This is our way of reshaping the water industry here in Iloilo. Okay, so as you can see, we have done a lot of meter grouping, organizing the meters, organizing the connections of our customers, not just in Iloilo City, but of course all of this will be consistent throughout our service area. And we are happy to hear very good feedback from barangay captains, from the residents, with respect to this program. Okay. Of course, we have some technical. We are also doing technical evaluation of our system. We are conducting leak detection teams. We are conducting district metering areas, and of course, leak repairs. In terms of leak repairs, as you can see, we have we are seeing very significant improvement in terms of the number of leaks that we are accomplishing month on month. Okay, so of course, with this, we would also like to ask for understanding on the from the general public, because when we conduct leak repair, of course, we have to there would be some sort of inconvenience, but we are doing our best to minimize this. Okay. So as you can see, we have done a lot of leak repairs because our lines most of our lines are really very old. Some of them are like during the American War. Okay, so we need to replace them. But before we replace them, we have to conduct leak repairs so that we can stop the losses. Okay. Aside from leak repairs, we are also conducting regular water quality testing to ensure that water quality that we deliver to our customers pass the Philippine national standards for drinking water. Let me proceed with the capex plan for 2021. For the first half of 2021, we completed a number of projects already, including our TACA site office. So why is this very important for us? During the pandemic, during this pandemic, the major challenge that we are facing right now is the delivery of materials, the pipes, the valves, the water meter. Okay, and most of these materials come from Manila, and that's why we have to make sure that we have a warehouse, we have sufficient materials so that we can respond to customer complaints and the water issues, water supply issues immediately with the sufficient materials. Okay, We already completed the Molo San Pedro Molo pipe laying. I think this is one of the projects of the Pogi group, wherein I think more power was there. We were there and we made sure that San Pedro Molo, the problems in terms of water supply in San Pedro Molo are slowly being addressed. Under execution, we are now on the last phase in Macau. Okay, this is a major project for us because we are losing water here, and the pipe replacement that we have installed here are expected to give us is expected to recover losses. Okay. So Macau project, hydraulic system establishment. These are some of the ongoing projects. Dumon, San Isidro, and River Plains. These are also major projects. These three projects alone will benefit more than 3,000 households. Okay, and we are happy that in San Isidro alone, I think in one part there, Dagawat Kalinga, I think this is the first time after 9 years that they will be having water, and they are very excited to finally experience the water flowing out in their faucets. Okay. Other projects, we have the Angela Transmission Line project. This line traverses 3 municipalities, Navais, Mandurriao, and North Baluarte. These areas are areas that have been identified as having very high non-revenue water. That's why we are addressing this so that we can recover and be able to provide more water to more customers. Same thing goes to Desamparados in Savannah, and some improvement in the network in terms of installing blow-off. In Desamparados, I think we are already almost complete with this. We are now in the last phase, meaning installation of customer meters, so that we will be able to improve the supply. We are also doing some projects related to the septage treatment plant that we intend to build in the next coming months. Okay. As part of our strategy, also in terms of reshaping the water industry here in Iloilo, we would like to focus on safety, especially on our workers. That's why we are providing them with the correct protective personal equipment, the right tools and equipment. We are buying the correct tools and equipment. We are working very hard to ensure that the work environment, especially on the streets, are safe, not just for our employees and our contractors, but also safe for the public, especially the pedestrians and everyone using the road also. Some snapshot of our plans and programs. We are planning to build a septage treatment plant, a 90 cubic meter septage treatment plant. And as I've said, we have completed, and some of the projects are still ongoing for the preparation of the actual bidding and construction of a septage treatment project. And this is part of our mandate our mandate and obligation as per our contract with the water district. We recently advertised bidding projects. So we have a project in Florevel. This is located in Oton, total pipe replacement. Again, this is related to a non-revenue water reduction program. Aside from the projects that we are doing, our company would also like to make sure that we are also having our CSR projects. Okay, and in just this year we launched our flagship program for CSR project, which we call Tap Ilonggo. And as part of that launching, we turned over 20 hand washing facilities to Iloilo City to be distributed in barangays, health centers, public markets. And we have done this already. Okay, the 20 hand washings were already turned over, and we are replicating this in other municipalities. Okay, We are also aside from this, so we some pictures, not just in Iloilo City, but also outside Iloilo. All of our 8 municipalities have already benefited from the hand washing facilities, and of course, some donations on the blue drums. And these are facilities that they use when they fight yung mga COVID, especially mga COVID facilities. Okay. Part of our Tatap Ilonggo CSR project also are some donations to the LGU. We donated COVID-19 test kits. We gave also assistance to some residents. Okay, we turned over relief goods, and we also provide water in some of the COVID-19 facilities of some of the LGUs. So with that, thank you very much, and I will be answering questions later after the next presenter. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Engineer Bernardo Mañosca, CEO of Metro Pacific Iloilo Water, for working so hard on the expansion and improvement of the water distribution system and MPIW's investment in new facilities such as more pipelines to serve more people in Metro Iloilo. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much for coming back from New Zealand and serve the Ilonggos. So this time, I will introduce to you our third and last speaker. Our third speaker accomplished electronics and communication engineering at the University of St. La Salle Bacolod, worked as customer service representative of Teletech Holdings Incorporated in 2008, and the customer service after sales at iPlus Intelligent Network Incorporated. He was the field service engineer of PLDT in 2019 and was appointed as head of the consumer service zone of Panay and Palawan in July 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Dennis P. Macapagal.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting us, and thank you everyone for giving us an opportunity, especially the different telecommunications and utilities here in Iloilo for us to be acknowledged and also to know what is the best for the city. So I'll just share my presentation for a moment. So can someone acknowledge if they can see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So once again, I would like to thank the Iloilo Business Club for inviting us. This is the second stint, I guess, because previously we were invited also for a quick meeting for which is done individually. So so in the on our motto right now, we're reshaping the utilities industry in Iloilo City. So furthermore, PLDT as a company is a 93-year-old company. Our growth means getting it right for our customers. So in this pandemic, I know everybody has challenges in terms of businesses and in the line with communicating with one another. So PLDT is giving back to the community. So we owe it all to our customers to do our best despite the challenges we continue to face. So during the pandemic, we didn't stop our operations. We are doing the consistent installations and repair 24/7 because it's our main objective, and it's included in our mission vision statement that we must align everyone in order to serve the Filipino people. So so before I move to the presentation ahead, I'll just give you knowledge of the definition of terms on my slide, because maybe some of the words that are included on my presentation are very jargon words on your perspective. So a little bit of an overview. So NGN means it's the new generation network. It is composed of the copper lines that we have in the city. It's also a legacy connectivity that uh, may be unreliable. So later I will just show why we are moving to a new technology that is more reliable in terms of connectivity. So the VDSL is very high-speed subscriber line. It's a hybrid connectivity also that can establish a high-speed connectivity for each of our subscribers. So the FTTH, or the fiber to the home, or the FTTX, or fiber to anywhere, is a technology which provides uh, more reliable service, and it is the most competent and more reliable technology that we have in the Philippines for telecommunications. So available lines is the open ports that we have. We know very well that each of our subscriber has one dedicated line. Gone are the days that when a subscriber is sharing a port for the telephone, but right now, for the internet services, we assure as a company that each of you would be served in a more reliable manner. So the working lines is the lines with existing customers like you. The NWOOP, or the new connect with upgrade, is the one that we are doing right now. It is the migration from the copper line to the fiber line. The after sales is the value added services that we have, because PLDT as a company is not only catering internet services, and not only voice or telephone services, but we also provide, with partnership with our sister company, Signal. We also provide mesh routers that could cater dead spots on your area. So let's move on. So the average speed increase in PLDT is very great in terms of, because we continue to lead the industry in improving internet service, both wired and wireless. So the average speed in the Philippines today is for March of this year is 46 Mbps, and then for April it is 49.31. So an increase of 3 Mbps more likely. And then for the sorry, but and for the wired services, the average speed is only 25, and the for March, and for April it's 29. But PLDT and Smart provides more, because the average speed of PLDT for each of the subscribers that we have, especially our residential subscribers, is 55 Mbps for March, and 57 Mbps for April. There's also a drastic increase of wireless connectivity for our wireless partners, which is Smart. From March of 31, for March, their average speed is 31 Mbps, and then for April, it notched up to 9 Mbps, which has a subtotal of 40. So for the wireless capability here in Iloilo, we're now installing bit by bit the transition from 4G to 5G. Also, that's for the wireless services, but for the wired services, we are giving everything we've got to migrate all existing customers from copper to fiber. But we will be committed to transfer it in the duration of the year. But for the existing customers that has a facility or a fiber facility in their area, we will migrate it with no cost. We will replace everything just to provide you with the most reliable service that we have. So moving forward, so the addition we for moving forward, so our aim right now uh, for the past few years ago, that we will decommission our copper services. Um, so as our data shows, from June 28, 2021, uh, there are 7 districts in Iloilo City, namely Arevalo, Iloilo City, Haro, La Paz, Lapus, Mandurao, and Molo. So on totality, we have increased 32% of our FTTH ports since last year. So from 26,728, we have increased it to 39,424, and still increasing. We are we are aligned with the challenges of our business partners and also our subscribers from enterprise, because we don't have uh, the provisions yet for the building in for fiber. But when we consulted our Japanese partners, because we are aligned also with other telecommunications players around the world. So we asked them, basically, when we asked them that if the we have same challenges also as the Philippines has, being bringing that the Philippines is a third world country and Japan is a first world country, we have the same challenges in terms that we just cannot replace the fiber connectivity of certain buildings, because it's quite tedious. It's a handful, and the the uh, the orientation of each building is different from each other. So if you replace fiber optic lines from copper lines, it will be more it will be more convenient if ever the new buildings would already provision their structure into FTTH ready facilities. So for now, the increase in FTTH, the highest increase in FTTH from every district is the first is La Paz, followed by the city of Iloilo, then the Mandurao district, which is the one of the most blooming districts in Iloilo right now, followed by Molo, next Arevalo, and last but not least is the Lapos area. So I would go into detail right now what we have per district. So on the city proper, the first district that I will discuss is the difference, the big percentage of home and enterprise. So in the city proper, we have 17,354 subscribers or working lines for residential customers, and then 2,608 subscribers for enterprise. For on totality of this, we 29% here is fiber lines, and 71% are still copper lines. As related to what I discussed earlier, the challenge in the city proper is the original structures of the building, or the main provision, telecommunication provision of each of the building is is still copper. But bit by bit, we will ask for the building owners or the property managers, if ever, on how we could sit down, talk it over on how we could replace all their connectivity from copper to fiber. That's why the in the district of city proper, the percentage of copper lines is still bigger than the FTTH lines. So moving forward, for the La Paz area, uh, the on La Paz area, there are the percentage of residential customers from the enterprise customers is low. So in La Paz area, we have more customers who are getting corporate accounts than residential accounts. So we have 12,168 enterprise accounts. When I say enterprise accounts, this also includes small and medium enterprise, small businesses, micro businesses, all in all. So we have 12,168 lines. And then for residential, we only have 5,784. So on the totality of this, around 16 to 17,000, 35% of those lines are already fiber, and 65% of those lines are still on copper. I would like to reiterate that the migration capacity and objective of PLDT is still pursuing every day. So let's move to the other districts. So in Haro district, the enterprise subscribers that we have is 7,064, and the residential subscribers is 8,480. So as you can see, we have more rollouts in the district of Haro, which is I think in geographical aspect is the biggest district in Iloilo. So the percentage of fiber in the district is 70%, and only 28% for the copper lines. We have already for barangays in Haro that is a fiber barangay. When I say a fiber barangay, there is no copper connectivity already. We already migrate everything to fiber. So next up is one of the most very enhanced district and the most competitive district as of to date for Iloilo is the Mandurriao district. So last year, the increase of take up or the solicitations that we have for enterprise and home has drastically increased for this district. But furthermore, we have 12,256 subscribers who are in residential, 5,324 for enterprise. So the margin for fiber and versus the copper lines that we have is only 2%, but maybe on the next few months, the percentage of fiber lines for this district will be more higher than the copper. So next up is Molo, also one of the great districts here in Iloilo. We have 568 enterprise lines, and because Molo significantly is the population is more on the residential line, so 6,200 of this are residential. So we have a percentage of 60% fiber lines in Molo, and 37% for the copper lines. And the take up also in Molo is very, very good for the migration from copper to fiber. So last but not the least, Arevalo. So in Arevalo, we have 4,336 lines for residential and 256 lines for enterprise. So for the percentage, 54% for the fiber and 46% for the copper lines. So that's all for that's the main detailed working lines and the percentage that they have per district in Iloilo. Sorry, I forgot Lapus. So Lapus, 64% is fiber and 36% is copper. Lapus is quite small in terms of enterprise take up, but we only have 96 accounts for enterprise and 1,768 for residential. So this is what I would like to reiterate, that Project Barangay, or in short, we are migrating migration project. So this is to ensure the quality of service. We are migrating the existing NGN customers to fiber as much as possible, free of charge, because the maximum speed that you can get in copper is only 10 Mbps, while as of now, for fiber, the maximum speed that you can have is, you can have as much as 1,000 Mbps or 1 gig. So to update you with this, that's the main concept of one of the major objective of our company is, we must migrate every copper line into fiber line. So this is our take up month by month. So in January, February, March, April, May, and June, we are increasing the numbers that was indicated here is the number of subscribers we have migrated from copper to fiber. So in totality right now, from January to June, we have migrated 2,541 subscribers up to date. So daily, especially when we have received connectivity concerns, restoration concerns, we don't, if there is a fiber port availability in the area, we don't repair. We don't repair the copper services that we have. What we do is, we issue a service order to just migrate everything and change everything from copper to fiber. So for the 5 provinces in Panay, so the big chunk of our rollout is Iloilo City. So we want to roll out 21,608 just for this year. So we already completed 1,952 ports, because right now, in this time of crisis, especially on the pandemic, some of our employees and some of our uh, Kasimanwas here in Iloilo ought to have work in their homes. So to ensure that they are properly connected, and then they can have a reliable internet service, we are giving them a special package, or a special plans for the subscription that they're having. When the pandemic started back in March 2020, the first 4 months of PLDT, March, April, May, and June, we opt to not gather the monthly bill of each subscriber. So that's the decision of our top management, not to gather any payments to any subscribers for 4 months. The subscribers has an option also, that we have shown, that they can pay it in installment up to the of December of last year, 2020. So because given that everybody has a hard time in paying, and also most of the employees all over the archipelago has lost their job. So it's our commitment also to give back to the community. So right now, on the business side, more and more selling platforms have been generated in order for the business, or for the economy to prosper. So the main platform that is used for this for the online selling is the internet. So in order to have a virtual virtual overview of each of the products that of our enterprise consumers. uh, they must have a great internet internet reliability, and also for the consumer, they must be well informed of the what's happening around the country. And even if the if we can if even if we can't go out, because it's quite dangerous to go out on the streets, because they are saying that a new variant of the COVID-19 is spreading like wildfire. The main factor that to be connected is through online. So this is our aim, and also our commitment to the Ilonggos, that we must give everything that we got to provide the most reliable service. So needless to say, like what Sir Roel Castro has said earlier, we're also a member of the Public Utilities Group of Iloilo, or known as POGI. We are very, very uh, optimistic when the group was created under the office of our mayor, Mayor Jared Peñas, that is headed also by Sir Randy Pastolero, the executive assistant of mayor for power. So the collaboration that we have for Pogi is that if we saw the dangling wires, or the eyesore lines in the city, we will not point fingers on who's the owner of the pole or that wire, but we, as a group, as a utility group, we will work together for the beautification of the city. So here are just some of the four pictures that I will just show, just on how we are very, very proactive, and on a resilient answer for the cleaning up operations for the dangling wires, or the spaghetti wires of the city. So moving forward, we are doing great, and a big percentage of the city is getting noticed to be more cleaner, more nice to see, and we will give the utmost uh, job, or utmost support to the city, in order to see Iloilo as one of the uh, top cities who is not only greener, but the most reliable, or the most uh, performance wise, we are the best city in the whole Philippines. So one of our social media platform is given was recognized, because uh, when the pandemic hit it hard, our field engineers and field technicians are still doing their daily jobs, just to provide more installs and more repairs also for the city. But one of our customer experience service delivery associate, Mr. RJ Husada, was also featured, because uh, a 5-year-old girl was has given Mr. Hosada a small drawing, or a small portrait, that is thanking Mr. Hosada of his hard work. Because when you see a 5-year-old lady, a girl, she has not yet evolved his maturity, or she doesn't have knowledge yet of what is going around the world, of how pandemic is affecting everyone. But she saw the great work of our 6SDA and our technicians. So a small a small token of appreciation is very, very motivating on our part, as we are facing danger daily. But rest assured that PPEs are worn in the in the in our subscribers' premises. So in line with this, I would like to uh, have take a quote from Winnie the Pooh, that sometimes the smallest things takes up the most room in our hearts. So a little appreciation, although the utility group here in Iloilo is very, very working hard just to provide the utmost service that we could provide the to the to our subscribers and our customers. But uh, on the behind the scenes uh, event, or the scenery, for most of the utility companies, we have uh, we have gathered challenges, and some of us are affected by the virus, but we are not settling down. We are facing the pandemic head on, and with the help of the local government of Iloilo, and together with the Iloilo Business Club, we will further soar high and overcome the challenges that we're facing. So furthermore, I would like to thank the Iloilo Business Club, and and everyone who conspired to have this event, for us to have been given a voice, in order for us to share what are the mindsets that we have as a company. So thank you very much, and have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dennis P. Macapagal. And we salute your commitment in PLDT to focusing on improving the operational efficiency of PLDT's customer service experience. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so we present to you first the 3-minute video presentation of More Electric and Power Corporation, which we missed earlier, which was prepared by the customer care team and IT specialist of the company. This is the heart, the mind, and the hand of the company or the organization headed by Mr. Castro, which was also the same heart that they have committed to all Ilonggos. So hit it, more power.
As Iloilo grows, so do the dreams of every Ilonggo. By powering homes, we empower our consumers to dream of brighter futures. More Power's family of dedicated men and women have stuck by their mandate to provide the most efficient, cost-effective, and secure power distribution. We did much in 2020. More Power's linemen and engineers deployed a 10 MVA mobile substation, rehabilitated poles and other assets, and conducted preventive maintenance across all substations. It is their service and sacrifice that have contributed to a much improved consumer experience, and they are ready to do more. By 2025, additional substations will cater to the city's power demands. With this much capacity, we'll be bringing more light to Ilonggo homes and businesses. Throughout the next 5 years, More Power's frontliners vow to maintain our long-term principles: continuity of supply, capacity building, and technological competence. With their commitment, a number of projects are set to take shape. New substations will be acquired to increase energy capacity and prevent overloading. These will be constructed to accommodate bustling districts, plus an additional 2 mobile substations. Supervisory control and data acquisition, or SCADA networks, will be implemented to better monitor energy flow, identify faults, and respond faster to unscheduled power interruptions. SCADA networks are digitized, allowing for more detailed information tracking in real time. Power lines and substations will undergo rehabilitation to repair and upgrade old or outdated conductors as necessary. This stabilizes and secures transmission lines to lessen and avoid power disruption. New KV lines will be laid out. This ensures continuity of power supply to fuel growth and expansion in commercial and residential areas. These new lines will be in more ergonomic locations with better material for protection against cutting and other disturbances. To carry out all these are the dedicated crew of More Power. Their efforts will almost double the MVA capacity of Iloilo City. The foundations for Iloilo's rise to one of the top cities in the country will be built on the shoulders of our servicemen. Additional substations, digitized information banks, modernized power lines, and a larger inflow will benefit consumers across the board. Ilonggos may plan ahead without worrying about an unstable or unaccommodating power supply. We see an Iloilo city built by Ilonggos in the white and green of More Power. We are all committed to the principles this company was built upon: continuity of supply, capacity building, and technological competence. This translates to stability, efficiency, and an improved consumer experience in the years to come. The future is looking brighter and brighter, thanks to the public servants who connect consumers' homes to their dreams. We've done so much in 2020, but there is more in store.
Thank you very much, More Power. Now, this time we will proceed to our question and answer or open forum. I have taken the most often cited questions and will be tossing them to our speakers. So please encode your questions in the chat box if you want to join the discussion. My first question is directed to Mr. Ruel Castro of More Power. Sir, your question is, there are reports on energy deficiencies in Luzon, which are causing rotating power interruptions. So how is your company preparing for these kinds of external threats to ensure unhampered service in Iloilo?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, let's okay. There are two ways of looking at it, or there are two reasons. One is what we call the systemic, and the other one is the non-systemic. Okay. Systemic, if it is already a there is a wrong projection in terms of capacity versus demand, or supply versus demand, no, wherein it is a systemic, it's going to lead to systemic outage, which means that it's going to be for long. The other one is non-systemic, which is actually again for short term. No? Now, the outages that are happening in Luzon are actually mostly unsystemic, no, non-systemic outages. No? Meaning, well, you know, the reason why there were outages in the last few months was because the plants were actually on PMS or on maintenance, no, and others are actually conked out. So, well, one way to look at it is yes, it is non-systemic because there are causes. The other one actually, which was brought up by one, if I'm not mistaken, it was one of the advocacy groups, no, saying that it's because of the old and dilapidated or old power plants, no, that actually need to be replaced already. Now, what are the mitigations that we're doing here? Well, first and foremost is that we have to make sure that there is adequate power supply, no? And so far, Visayas is okay, no? So we have put up our competitive selection process open to all power plants all over the country, or Luzon and Visayas, for two things. One is reliability, number two is price. So, well, from our point of view, the way to address this is actually to have the adequate contracts, no, for supply, and it's a matter of strategizing, of balancing the price and reliability, no. So that way we should be assured of supply for the city or for more power.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for that answer, Sir Well. How about this follow-up question? This is related to your employee on how they are coping up with the pandemic, and what kind of support do More Power give to your people, especially on in-house and say on-site programs. So what are the things that you are implemented to keep them safe and okay?
Okay. For one, we've tried to actually really study it, no, because well, sometimes it's a bit difficult to actually implement social distancing up in a bucket truck, no. I mean, the bucket is only good for, well, without the pandemic, I mean, it should actually accommodate, let's say, two, because one should have a helper, no, while doing some work on up there. No, so since, well, there is no bucket truck that is designed for a pandemic or socially distanced work environment yet. No, so we have no choice, but there will always be two workers, two linemen up in a bucket truck. So we actually keep on emphasizing, and we have safety officers on the ground, no, always reminding and making sure that we follow the protocols, no, like I mean the usual protocols, no. I mean, I don't have to mention that, no, but we emphasize that. Number two is we actually do regular swab test, no, of employees. At some point, we actually had to do 100% for everyone, no? And then when things got a bit easy, we were doing random, no. But that one is important because then we would know if there are infections going on, and we actually keep track of the well, even if there's no contact. I mean, the contact trace is that we actually know who are the employees, because we have it anyway, on record, who are the employees that were together on certain days on certain projects. So if something happens, it's easy to isolate. Now, for employees that got infected, and I would say that we had a number of employees who got infected, we have 100% well, support really for them. No, we have isolation facilities, and well, if the employee would actually have companion in the house that is senior citizen that also has to be isolated, we do also isolate them. I mean, we really go to that extent and keep them in the isolation facilities for as long as needed until our company physician and company nurse would say that they're already ready to go, no. And I mean, all of this, even for third parties, no? I mean, we extend help, no, because I mean, for me, every employee, especially the frontliners, no, they are very important in the carry out of our job. Now, more importantly, also at some point we had a sort of an agreement with Mayor, because he said, Roel, I will not allow your employees to be out there unless they are vaccinated. No, and we had to enforce that. I mean, it's not for anything, but it is really for the safety of our employees as well as safety of the consumer. So way before our employees, our organic employees and office-based employees got injected, the frontliners actually had that ahead.
Okay.
Just to make sure that we comply and we know that this is the safe way to go about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruel. So this time I would like to toss this question to Engineer Manyoska. Sir, is there any plan to upgrade in your water treatment facility or increase stringency in the water quality you are supplying Iloilo City or the rest of the areas covered? Because sometimes the water has sulfur smell in it.
First of all, Metro Pacific Iloilo Water is a distribution company. We are not the one treating the water. We are not the one. I don't know. We are dependent on the bulk water supply from bulk water suppliers.
Okay.
But if you are asking us, do we have plans of increasing? Yes, that's why we are coordinating with Metro Iloilo Water District and asking them and requesting them to increase supply that they are providing so that we can distribute more to our customers. Okay, but in terms of our company, I don't know, the ones doing the treatment, it's not our mandate to treat the water.
Okay.
So it is up to the bulk water supplier, but I think one good thing that is happening right now is that our bulk water suppliers, together with Water District, are very much cooperative, and they have plans in increasing water production, so that we can distribute more to our customers. Okay. In terms of water quality, we are monitoring that in areas where there are 24/7 water supply, we do not, we have very few cases, okay? If I would say, but our water quality there are relatively and generally okay. But problem arises when there are fluctuations in water supply. Okay, for example, nagkaroon ng problem ang water treatment, and the bulk water supplier informs us that there would be water interruption. So that's the time that water would be, there were times that water would be, there would be problems in water quality. But to address that, what we are doing as a company is to conduct more flushing, more preventive maintenance to address this water quality.
Okay, thank you for that. How about based on the current trends in utility sector? How about what are some of the policy recommendation, for example, that you would like to give to the government to improve the state of the industry in water and then service delivery in Iloilo?
I think a number of government agencies are already supporting us in the water district. But the number one problem is that Metro Pacific Iloilo Water needs more bulk water supply so that we can distribute more to the customers. Okay. The reason why we cannot expand the way we want to, or the way we plan to, is because there is right now limited water supply that is being provided to our company. But the good thing right now is that Water District is doing a good job in terms of coordinating with the government agencies so that they can secure additional water supply to our customers. Okay, so I think that is one of the major and pressing issues right now is where to get the additional water supply that we can distribute to our customers. But in terms of, as far as Metro Pacific Iloilo Water is concerned, our commitment is there to expand when there are additional available supply. In fact, since we started in 2019, we already increased supply by 8%. Okay, so I think malaki na rin yun. Okay, but of course, people still need more water. That's why we are asking for additional supply from the water district.
Yeah. You know, there are a lot of questions that we would like to ask to more power, to water initiatives, and then telecommunication initiatives. We have a very limited time. That is why we only chose a few questions to be tossed to our speakers this afternoon. So this time I would like to focus first on the telecommunications industry or utility service. I would like to toss this question to Mr. Macapagal. So, sir, there are still SMEs who are hesitant to put their business online. Can you share some best practices or success stories to your clients who have transitioned from to a virtual stores and online payments and now enjoying the convenience and rewards that they have gotten from converting it into an online business?
Yeah, thank you for very much for that. So regarding the online businesses that will be delivered upon the endpoint or the consumer, the best way is to how will you virtually market your products and services. So the best way to persuade the consumers that you have is if you have a certain virtual marketing partner who could enable a very distinct or a very unique way on how you can showcase your product services. So furthermore, the quick for small and medium enterprise, the quickest the fastest way for them to showcase their products is through Lazada, Shopee. That's the I think it's the fastest way because I personally known some know some of my friends who are partnering with that certain kind of platform. They have increased their sales drastically. Or they can also partner with the Smart, which is Paymaya, so that they can we can offer a good deal in paying online, especially in this pandemic. I really want to encourage everyone to pay online because it's quite difficult right now to go outside. So that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Another question from the chat box. This is just a random question that I got. So in your opinion, sir, what are the prospects of Iloilo as an investment destination in the country's post-pandemic? And then what do you think are Iloilo's advantage compared to other cities in the country in terms of the services that PLDT is giving?
First and foremost, the attitude or the character of an Ilonggo, especially here in Iloilo. The Ilonggo is very hospitable. The Ilonggos are very very courteous and respectful. That's why when I see it from a standpoint view of each individual, the Iloilo will soar to greater heights. I have worked in Manila for 11 years, and I'm naturally I'm not from Iloilo City, but when I was situated here in Iloilo, the name has a great impact in my heart, especially when it is named the city of love. So I think it plays a big role also for investors because with the mindset also with the business sector, the mindsets also of our local government. I think that if the if the objective that we have or the vision of our leaders here in Iloilo City for each sector will be materialized, eventually there's no way of going down. Maybe we will be the top city in the Philippines in the next couple of months or years.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Macapagal. In as much as we would like to accommodate all the questions that was sent to the chat box and the questions that actually I have in my master list, we will find time, and we promise you that we will find some a probable avenue for everyone to be accommodated in terms of queries on the different utility services. Okay, so I would like to say thank you to all our invited guests, Mr. Roel Castro, President CEO of More Power or More Electric and Power Corporation, Engineer Bernardo Mañosca, CEO of Metro Pacific Iloilo Water, and Mr. Dennis Macapagal, Head PLDT Panay Customer Experience Operation Zone. Now, the key messages that we learned from today's episode is that throughout history, global events have been the catalyst of innovation. So due to COVID-19 crisis, the world is set to change times. And like this, get people to challenge the status quo and think out of the box. So as the period of temporary economic decline is actually hitting the roof, and then the utility companies need to think of solutions which can enable them to earn revenues, stay in business utilities. And then this will have to use analytics and digital tools to strengthen their customer experience, system, and operations. So in the end, all utilities companies need to ensure continuous support for their customers while keeping their workforce upskilled and safe all the time. So I hope today's episode has given all participants present here on this online meeting cutting-edge information about reshaping the utilities industry in Iloilo City. I am Rowena Diaz of Soft Skills Management Consulting. Thank you, Iloilo Business Online, for inviting me. Thank you so much.